I got hum to go. It's Sunday, everybody. What's up? It's Boba Brunch Sunday. It's the what's going on, y'all? It is me, Sean Tank Top. I am over here at Casa de Tank Top. And I'm hanging out with
You just turned into a dancing hamster.
I did like, on the internet. That's an internet classic right there. That's one for the fucking
also
for the way back
Frog.
machine. Oh my god! Well, that's Dustin is very a very interesting relationship with the crazy frogs for sure. But we're not talking about that. Maybe we'll do a stream about about old internet runes. I'm sure, as some people have seen them that were like around before some of these motherfuckers were born. I'm hearing this
memes of yore. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Oh, the memes of yore. Oh my god, I love that. But we are not talking about that. We are talking about. Welcome to the Boba Brunch Breakdown. We are over here. We are doing episode 5, Return of the Mandalorian. And we are doing directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, written by the Favs. And I am being joined by, you know him, you love him. It's my co-host. They're the guy and gal in green over there. It's Dustin and Morgan. What's going on, y'all?
Instead of being the man in black, we're the couple in green.
There you go. Absolutely, 100%. I mean, I love a good color motif when I see it. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, like it was like when we had Late to the Party on. What was it, like a week or so ago? They were like the guys need to step it up because the hair color of everybody in either one of the chats was off the chain. It was like, and they're not wrong. But speaking with a lot of color and a lot of great commentary and a lot of incredible insight, we got ourselves our co-host in chief over there. It's Maddie Kay. What's going on, Maddie?
Hi, going well. Had a very interesting weekend. Ready to pop it out. I celebrated this week's episode by bringing out my Grogu impressionist.
Oh, baby!
Yeah.
You got to get him back. Well, now I mean, yeah, he's a little front and center on our minds, just like he's front and center on some kind of on a single dad's mind over there. Yeah, no shit.
He's front and center in our hearts.
100%. We are and we are not talking about Boba Fett, in case you guys were wondering, even though we are talking about his show, whatever, but we're on an
formerly his show
in a sense. So we're on episode 5. It's episode 5 of the Book of Boba Fett, a show that I've been having a good time with. I've been having a perfectly fine time with. I will say up front, I don't think that we've ever said, like, we've kind of been, I don't know if we've necessarily been defenders of this show, but like, I think that some people have kind of come out swinging on this thing in a certain sense that I think sometimes it has some merit, sometimes it doesn't, but I think that I mostly had a good time with this show. Do I think that it's, do I think that it is a zenith of like television writing? Not so much, but as far as like a Star Wars fan, I've been having a nice time with it. As in, like, you put a Star Wars in front of me, I'm like, I like the Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of like the stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. and to varying degrees. You know what I mean? And so, with this show, with this particular episode, it's, oh my god. Oh, and also shout out to everybody in the chat and everything like that. We got people from the fucking UK, we got people from India. That's incredible. It's so, oh my god, we're all over the place over there. Good to see y'all. Thank you so much. And also real quick before we get going, if you guys want we're going to be talking a lot. We're going to be going through a bunch of different categories about like things that we liked and disliked about the episode and all that type of stuff. A lot of speculation and everything like that. If you want to make sure that you get into the conversation, you guys can do that by hitting us up with a super chat for any dollar amount, whatever you can spare. But if you throw us a little tip, we're a couple of industry workers over here. You throw a little tip on the bar, we'll fucking dance for our cracker, and we'll make sure that we get that comment, that theory, that question, etc., so forth. We will make sure that we address it within the stream. If we don't get to it as you commented or as you kind of put it down, if it has something to do with what we're talking about, we will address it then. But if not, we'll save it to the end of the episode. So,
and remember, you can legally fight me for money if you
like
super chat.
Let's an old school,
Let's go.
Ye old pugilist or whatever it is.
Put them up
for sure. So yes, and you can fight. You can for money. You can fight Maddie Kay. And she's all for it, and we're all for it. So so just so you guys know, that's going out throughout, and it's full spoilers. If you have not seen the episode, I don't know what the fuck you're doing over here, but you should definitely go watch the episode and then come back and then hang out with us next week. So Name of this episode is The Return of the Mandalorian, and it was quite a return. It was a return in the character thing. In some cases, with some people, a return to form in some sense, as far as just like, I don't know. I mean, like compelling story elements that we just kind of haven't really dipped our toes into since, December of last year and everything like that. Oh my! Shout out to Duke Uni over there. Thank you so much, Duke. Hey, if you got something, just shout it out, buddy. We'll make sure that we get it in. We appreciate it. Shout out to a real
Duke,
one over there.
Thank you.
We appreciate you, Duke. I think we'll just go into like the general thoughts of everything like that, just because I think that it was, you kind of can't really start to talk about this episode before getting into, like kind of like the central issue of it all. But we're going to start, we'll start talking about our General Kenobi thoughts of the episode. Dre says, what did you think about this here episode of the Mandalorian?
I know. Yeah, season 3 is off to a great start.
It really is. Like, it truly is. Like,
no, I was like, it was an awesome episode. I loved it so much. And I feel like that's a problem for Boba.
Yeah.
Like I just love just like the entire time was so much fun. And then I was like, oh wait, we are watching Boba Fett. And like, not only wasn't he in it, but like his version of that planet almost wasn't in it. Like I was expecting when he's Mandalorian, he didn't even go to the sanctuary. He didn't meet any other than like Fennec, who he's already met in
he'd already met in his show previously. Like again, like
so I'm just kind of like, it felt, and it probably was an episode of The Mandalorian that they made that they somehow decided to shove into the Boba Fett.
Right.
I don't know, but I'm just like, this is great, but not good for this show, unfortunately.
Well, I think it's like the parallelism of like, they had the one Boba Fett show in last season of Mandalorian, so they want to give the Mandalorian one episode in this season of Boba Fett. I think.
Oh yeah,
that's where my mind went with it. Anyway.
I think that's a fair. I think that's a fair observation. The only thing was is that like there was Mando interwoven with Boba Fett stuff. Like
it wasn't just a standalone. It was a team up.
Right. Like because again, and that probably would have been probably pretty jazzed just to have like a solo Boba Fett episode, I'm sure, like when it came out or something like that. But I think that, I don't know. I mean, I know that it as far as like what kind of, to Morgan's point a little bit, like the interaction of like the Mando stuff kind of having like almost literally no utility kind of related within everything that he did. Like, within the whole episode, it just didn't speak to, like, he didn't run into any of the mods or anything like that. Like he didn't, like when he was on the Starfighter or when he was on the Star Airliner or whatever. That would have
been a great place to run into like
some
mods.
Pikes. Like or some pikes, yeah. or just like there's a lot of pikes going on. What the fuck's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like just a little,
or just like in a little like a conversation of like, oh yeah, the spice trade's going crazy or something, like a little because I feel like they made this episode that it could have been the Mandalorian season premiere or an episode of Boba Fett. It's almost like they were trying to have it like they didn't know where it was going to go,
right?
So they didn't have it talk about pikes or spice trade or mods because people, if it
they did the teensiest amount at the very end with Amy Sedaris' character. Yeah. Like when she was just like, they've been going out, there's been a lot of pikes coming around and nobody will do anything about it. You know what I mean? But it was just like one throwaway line where it's like, I want to see him. We've taken, if anything, Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett has been like introducing like a ton of like new characters, like and new characters, new ideas and stuff like that into the world. And to not have him kind of interact with any of that, I thought was like, it just felt a little strange. It's just like, what happened to the show that I've been watching?
I think, and this might like bleed into the last section or whatever, is I think that they want to do like a Boba Mando team up for the final, because we have 2 episodes left. I think they want to do a team up for the finale, but because of that, you can't just have Mando. I mean, I think they should have just had Mando show up and be like, "What's up?" and then have the first
Yeah.
episode
Yeah.
of Mandalorian season 3 be what he was doing to get to that point.
Right.
But whatever. So instead they decided to bring everybody up to speed with Mando so that he can then have that happen. But it's also weird because it's like, I don't know, at the end of the episode, he's like, I will be back. And so he's like, I'll help you when I'm back. So you don't know if he's like leaving now or if he's going to be around. Like, it's really confusing. I don't understand why they put it here.
Yeah.
They should have put it, honestly, they should have had it like at the beginning of the season.
Oh, yeah.
So that he could be like, all right, I got to go, you know, deal with this problem and then I'll be back, and then have him show up for the finale.
I can see that. Right. So, well, that's kind of been a little bit of the thing. Like, it's almost like kind of like what happened with BK Broiler with Chrysanthemum, like when he was just like, he was like, don't work for assholes. Like, you know, like you just tried to kill me, see you. And then he literally runs like off into the corner. And then the next episode, they're like, how about you have a job? Where it's just like, couldn't we have just done that in the beginning of the, you know, they wanted to have a cool scene in the sanctuary and shit like that. But again, like, no, having him go in to the sanctuary, he gets to see Max Rebo. We get some more fucking jizz music, and we all know how much we like our jizz music over here on this channel. But yeah, I think, and to have him interact with like Jennifer Beals' character and stuff like that, which I think we'll get into that. I'll take some more thoughts on that shit, but whatever. But although we got a couple of super chats coming up, I got to make sure that we shot them out of her. Jacob Alvarez, one odd thing about this episode was that the armor didn't strip Din of his gear. You'd think that would be the first thing you'd do if you were expelling someone from a cult. So like when they were in that, after Morgan kind of mentioned this in our review where he was like, you know, they had the fight. He fights, is it Paz Vizsla? I think is that what it is?
Paz Vizsla.
Yeah, it's like he fights Paz Vizsla. He bests him and stuff like that, and then she's like, and then she decides to see. It's like, well, let me see your license and your Mandalorian license and registration. You know what I mean? Like, and like it was kind of like
happened.
It was like, shouldn't we have done this? Checked it out like earlier.
First, like when he showed up, but no, but also, I mean, he has that dark saber. You gonna take his armor? She already saw him almost murder the guy.
Everything that he got, like he won in combat, and if nothing else, like everything that he brought them, like all of the Beskar that he made was stuff that he won in combat and brought to her, and she forged and gave back to him. So like, if nothing else, I think that she would respect that, like right by blood or whatever, right by trial, right by combat, to everything that he has, because he hadn't officially joined. I think that she was gonna like maybe she was gonna initiate him into the covert after he won the fight. And that's why she asked it then, but I don't.
Oh yeah.
But I think that like wasn't clear, maybe, or something. I don't know. He technically was still visiting when all of that went down.
Yeah.
He wasn't
also,
actually.
If I'm her, I'm like, we're a cult, but like we still appreciate that you are of our culture. So this guy's been showing up, giving us Beskar for foundlings here and there. Hasn't he given some stuff where he's like, oh, give it to foundlings? So I think she's like going to want to keep that relationship because he still pitches in for the cause. He just can't be in. He
comes to church. He's not a member of the church, but he still shows up every once in a while, and he throws a bunch of Beskar in the collection plate.
Exactly.
Type of thing. So you want to keep that thing open. I mean, no,
it's all about the children, really.
Right.
Much like Wu-Tang.
Like Wu-Tang. Din Djarin is for the children. Beskar's for the children.
I want to point out Lefrenic's super chat.
Oh yeah. I was just about to bring it up. Here we go. We got ourselves another super chat. Thank you so much for Lefrenic. Seems to me that Din Djarin is the character we always thought that Boba Fett was. What do we think about that? Do you guys think that is there some merit to that, or is? What do you guys think?
Saying I would have loved to see Boba Fett slice a pig man in half.
Would have been fun.
He hasn't. I mean, I know he fought like a desert dragon, which was that was pretty sweet.
Sure.
So he did that.
Murdered a bunch of bikers.
He killed some bikers.
He punched a Sarlacc in the fucking beak.
He did explode the Sarlacc.
Yeah.
I think we could really just tell the difference between like Pedro and Pedro's stunt actors, like ability versus like Tamura's ability, because so far, like, Boba hasn't really put his helmet back on since.
Yeah.
So that means that Tamura has to be doing all the stunts, and I think he should just put on his helmet and like let somebody else do it and like do all of the cool stuff.
A little bit, yeah.
Because they've definitely, I feel, been playing specifically to Tamura's age.
Yeah.
And I don't love that, but like I also, I love that, we have such an old main character, but I'm also like, damn, like, where is the fights? Like, where is, like, why
there's
can't
a little
we get
bit
more
of
of that?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that. Well, especially just I think also just given like the fucking like the literal ferocity of the fight too. I think like I was kind of lulled into the tempo of the show thus far. You know what I'm saying? Like where it was just like where it was just I feel like there was like a visceral kind of ferocity to the combat that I just don't think that we've seen. You know what I mean? Like for at least for a hot minute. You know what I mean? Like
when we saw it this episode, we like realized how little of it has been in the series so far.
And again, like I'm like the last person to be like, I like Star Wars. I like Star Wars best when it's kind of not necessarily with like action scenes, like with all of them. Of course, I love them, but I mean, like I love like getting to know the world and lore and like all that type of stuff. Like that shit's like really interesting and fun to me. But it was just like a bucket of fucking cold water. Like when this thing opened up and you're just like, holy shit, like this is pretty fucking badass. And
it reminds me kind of like whenever you see like a more recent Bruce Willis movie where they're still trying to make him out to be a badass. And you're just like, what? Like for real? Like he's like 1,000 years old. Like he looked like he was like 75 in Die Hard. Yeah. Like when he was probably like 30. Like he just always looked really old. Now he's just like this old, like bald action star. And you're just like,
I mean, he's no slouch, but let the man have a seat. Let him rest.
Yeah, like let him be an old man yelling at Cloud for a little bit. Like that would be nice.
I mean, I think that's kind of what Boba is. He's an older bounty hunter, probably has some injuries, even though the back to tank has kind of got him a little bit better. Right. Yeah. But it's like I think that's kind of what I'm gonna assume that's what the show would argue is that we are showing what happens to a bounty hunter in their older age. Trying to use diplomacy over, murder.
He's an older, wiser.
Yeah, and I think that's probably is that so fun to watch in a Star Wars? Well, not as much as watching a Mandalorian slice a guy through a table.
I think if they leaned more into the Sopranos of all, it would be.
Yes,
but they still want to make him an action figure, action star. Yeah, and that just doesn't. Yeah. It's not working as well as Din Djarin works. So I personally, to answer that last question, I don't think that either of them are the Boba Fett that everybody wants.
True.
I think that Din Djarin is better, and I think that B, Boba is trying to be better, but because everybody wants him to be the old Boba, like it's just falling because even I think Tamura wants him to be the old Boba, and so like they want to preserve that, but I don't think they can preserve that. I think they need to let go of old Boba and like create a new Boba. Like, and they're trying to do that, but it's like kind of half-assed, like one foot in, 1 foot out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, there's definitely been like an element
just highlighting the problem of Star Wars. It's the same problem we had with Rogue One, like Rise of Skywalker. Like we had these problems where, like all the Star Wars fans have this idea of this is my Star Wars. This is the right way to do Star Wars.
Yeah,
and everybody has this feeling about Boba Fett where it's like, this is my Boba Fett. This is the badass, cool guy,
right?
That got chumped and knocked off into the Sarlacc pit, and like, but like now you're getting a fleshed out character, and it's like it will never be what every person wants it to be.
True.
And whereas like Din Djarin was like a blank slate, and so we got to learn about him and learn who he was from. We fell in love with him through like a full breadth of a character, whereas everybody has like built up 35 years of what they think Boba Fett is.
Yeah. I think that's a fair, that's a well said. I mean, like as far as, I mean, like, I don't know. It's like, if you've ever worked for like, if you've ever, done freelance work, like in like photo editing or anything like that, or videos or something like that, a lot of people like are just like, yeah, I'm totally down for a show, but not like that. You know what I mean? That's kind of like how Star Wars, like, it's like you didn't know how particular they were until you sort of like got the rubber met the road a little bit. I like I really love the impetus of the show. I just think that there's just like a couple components that I think were very, very present within this episode with Din Djarin, and it just kind of highlighted a couple things, like not even just like, oh, this character's cooler, like literally like he just had like a fun foil to play off with for like half of the episode with Amy Sedaris's character, and I just think that is like a presence that needs to exist, especially with characters like Boba and Fennec, who are hard Clint Eastwood stone cold badasses who say 5 fucking words, like at like they have a 5-word limit every hour that they're fucking that they're awake. You know what I mean? Like it's very, very minimal. And so not having, like, you know, we're doing Witcher reactions right now, and not having a Jaskier to bounce off of.
Yeah, they needed Amy Sedaris working for Boba.
Yeah,
throw her in the show. You get a better show.
I get a better,
because she's ragging him about everything, and he's like, rah, rah, rah. And it's great. You're having fun.
Yeah,
and again, it's another piece of connective tissue that will bring Din Djarin into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and I think, yeah, I think that there's a little bit of that, because it's just like, especially like, or like I came up with like, or not, like I didn't come up with it, but I thought of like a fun thing, like where it would be a fun dark comedy bit for Boba to like have to fight against his like murderous tendencies, kind of like almost like, you guys remember the what was it, Bruce, the great white shark from Finding Nemo? Remember how he goes like, fish are friends, not food. Yeah, exactly. Like, and so he goes like, where he's literally going like, he goes like, all right, I've been trying to meditate and not like calm the murder urge, but it just kind of comes out. He goes like, oh, sorry, took that a little too far. Sorry about that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
we already have that in another character. We already have that also in Fennec Shan. Like, so like that's the problem, is that both these characters are going through the same story arc.
A little bit.
Like we could have just make one of the mods like a jokester, or like a little bit of levity to give them something to play off of, and you know, so because we don't have a villain that's like stealing the scenes. There's no scene stealers.
No one's chewing scenery.
You need a little scene
scenery chewing. It's unchewed.
Except for Jennifer Beals, but she's not enough.
But she's in it for like 2 seconds. Yeah.
She's given like 3 lines.
Right. No. And we will get there. It's more like the Mandalorian episode with a Fennec cameo. And I think
exactly.
And Dinah, that's exactly that's exactly what it is. I mean, like it was just, and yeah, I think that it just sort of highlighted a little, like a couple things like that they haven't been able to fully like kind of harness, I think, what could work about the story, but they've kind of, I don't know. I think they're a little bit on the struggle bus, but you know, I think that it'll be interesting to kind of see where it goes. But I think that's kind of like that's sort of like the general feeling. Everybody's like, love the episode, great episode, totally dug it. Kind of hurts the show, which I think is very interesting. Like, I don't think I can't remember the last time that like a really good episode, like the best episode of the season, hurt a show this much.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Like, am I talking out of turn there, or like,
no?
Or does that make?
I wanna highlight a comment made by Christopher Miller.
Let's see what we got. Where's Christopher Miller?
He's a little bit up there.
I think I got him. This guy right here. Maybe this one.
No, up.
No.
Up.
Yeah.
Where am I going?
Or maybe down.
He's just dropping a lot. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hold on.
There is no big bad villain.
Yes. No, there isn't. There isn't a big bad. Here, I'll pull it up right now.
Yeah.
Let me put it in the chat. No, you're good. No, you're good. No, sorry to make you do work. Sorry to have to get off your ass, tank top, and fucking find something in the chat. There is no big bad villain with personality in this thing. I think that's
unless it's Ms. Beals.
Yeah.
Right.
Garza Fwip.
But we need more. We need
more. We need more. Please, more, please. If she's the villain, let's do it. Let's go.
If she was indeed going to become or reveal herself to be the big bad, then I feel like they would have built her up as a character. Like at this point, you should literally make.
I don't know, because they didn't do that to Boba Fett. So
you need a little more traction with her within the story to make that, because at this point, Fennec should fucking turn on him. That would be a surprising turn.
That'd be sexy. Not gonna lie.
Interesting.
I wouldn't hate it.
I wouldn't hate it because it would mean something. Like it would be one thing if like, if we kind of if they shared a little bit more screen time with one another, him and Madame Garza, like if she were to if they just kind of talk about, it's like, man, running shit, dude, fucking crazy, right? Like it's like you just like can't live with him, like like you got the muscle man, can't live with him, can't fucking fire him, or whatever. Like we need a little bit more of a relationship built up for that to work. But I don't think that's what's going to happen with that character. I just don't.
We're holding out for Kira Watch.
Yeah, I mean,
Kira Watch.
Oh God, it would be so. It would be
That's
cool.
the way they could save the show. That's the way they could save the show.
Is that right?
Truthers over here.
I guess, but
Also,
I just
shout out to Toxicoid Dear Mando. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
Pull that
Thank you, Jacob.
But what were you saying, Dustin?
I said this just now in the chat, where I just don't think that, as much as I was on that, the Crimson Dawn, Kira train early in these, if you've been hanging out watching this with us, they have laid, unless I missed it entirely, I've seen zero crumbs. Really, I've seen very little salacious crumbs of this idea. I mean, unless maybe it was there the whole time, but because like if they had done little tiny things to give us even more hope, then I would be okay with it. But they needed to do it like 2 episodes ago.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the way that it would happen would be if the Pike syndicate people are like, go get the boss, we got to get the boss, and then it's like a hollow of Kira, and she's like, what the fuck did you do? Like, I think that's the way that they could do it. Do I want them to do it? Yes. Would it be good storytelling if they did it? Probably not. Would I enjoy it immensely anyway? Yes.
Right. Just the hollow of Kira and Bruce Banner just showing up for no reason.
Yes.
We've got IP.
They're coming in the Marvelverse. Yes, correct.
Yeah, I mean, like again, we have the Watcher Patton Oswalt has deemed it so it shall be. Moving right along. We are going to our favorite scene of the episode. Maddie Kay, did you have a favorite scene in this episode?
Honestly, I just liked the droids hanging out. The BK droid was my favorite buddy.
Yeah.
Oh,
and that scene
about the little two-legged guy.
Two-legged, yeah, the droid from Fallen Order.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was about to say. Yes.
When that scene when he projects like where the part should go, and Din Djarin's like, thanks, buddy, and then he does a little dance.
Yeah. It was
like,
really cute. It was fucking great. Yeah,
so cute.
No, and again, like a little more. I mean, I know that we also have like Matt Berry as like with Torture Bot or whatever, but like again, like I don't think that he's been utilized like that, like as well as somebody that is being voiced by Matt Berry could be. Matt
Berry would have been a great Peli Moto of the show, I think. Like he has the capability, but they made him like be like a weird torture droid instead, which you could honestly make that droid work as a character, but I feel like he's been underutilized.
Yeah, a little bit, or it kind of it seems like that could be. I mean, I don't know, like Drace, what you got a favorite scene over there? What was your favorite scene of the episode? What do you guys got?
I mean, I liked the Clantunian murder scene was pretty good. Where he just goes in and just is like fucking people up. It was dude. It's kind of what was like, yeah, I think you got it right there, man.
Right.
Just so good.
Honestly, I just liked being in a new city.
Yeah.
Dude.
Like
that scene where you see the shadows and the light cycle, like it's like every 5 minutes you have 5 minutes of darkness and 5 minutes of light and 5 minutes of darkness. Like I was just thinking about the whole time. I was like, what would it be like to live in that city? Like how I mean, how would you know anything? I mean, that's true for like, in freaking whatever, like Finland and stuff when it's dark for 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
But like I think that would be so cool to just be like, oh, what time is it? Oh, it's light outside. Oh, that means it's like this. That means we're at this part of the cycle. Like, I think that would be so neat.
It's
personally.
Honestly, like it was such a shot in the arm getting off that desert planet where it's like, oh, like context clues of like how other parts of the universe like live and work and like what their economies look like and what are their public transportation. Like they have an elevated train. I was like, oh, it's Space Chicago.
Space Chicago, absolutely.
So I was like,
we got a Star Cruiser. That was so cool. Like we've never seen like a luxury like civilian cruiser. with intergalactic spaceport stuff before.
Right. And and it was something I don't think that it was something that I remember, like I remember I clocked it as and, I'm sure that people could probably tell like that I wasn't the biggest Halo fucking player like in the video or whatever it is, but it does look like the Halo fucking like the Halo like arc or whatever it was. And I was like, as soon as that shit showed up, like I was definitely hearing like, oh, you know what I mean? Like I was definitely getting that like when that shit came up for sure. But like but no, I think Morgan, that's a good point. Like where we've just been hanging out on the fucking one desert rock planet that Anakin hates, that Luke hates. Like, Rey hated Jakku. Like we're hanging out on fucking shit ass bumfuck middle of nowhere tattooing. And not to say that I haven't had a good time exploring some of the aspects of it, but it was just like the variety of the world.
It's way too much Tatooine. It's way too much Tatooine.
There could have been a couple of teams like where it's like we need to get a crew together, we need to get a team together, and then you got to go off world to convince somebody to come back and fight for you or something like that.
Or like you have to go schmooze some like galactic like bruisers or like the Gambinos or whatever to be like, hey, I need you to help me out. Like level with me. Like these people are taking your turf. Like we can come to an agreement. Like that would be great.
Yeah. I think that it definitely, there was a few elements in that stripe where it's just like, it needs a little more variety. It's like, if we can't have any type of permanence, if we can't get like a big bad somebody to really sink their teeth in with like a good like villainous like role or something like that, if you can't do that and give me some kind of linear like kind of I guess like plot permanence or whatever it is, then we got to be going off world, and we got to be having really different environments and really different kind of experiences to kind of lend itself to the episodic nature that the show still wants to be in. You know what I mean? But Marcus has an interesting thing under. Do you think the show would have benefited from a more linear storytelling? Start in the past, set up the Pikes, catch up to the present. Is that Marcus? I wonder if is that in relation to the flashback to Tank, like as in like not having that as like a story structure or whatever.
I think so.
What do you guys think about that?
I would definitely agree with that, because last episode was that weird mishmash where I was like, what time are we in? I don't know anymore. Like I couldn't follow like which timeline, what was happening. Like I think it was all one timeline, but I was still confused as to where it fit in the overall story. And I was like, I don't know.
Maybe it would have been funny if Din actually did show up to the and to meet up with Boba, and he goes like, you look pretty rough. You better take your clothes off and get into my Bacta tank over there, like or whatever. And then we have the whole episode, because like you can literally only experience it's like I got to see what you've been up to, so get into peel those clothes off there.
That's a bit that's too good for Star Wars. I'm just gonna tell you right now, it's too good.
Right.
Also, you're just writing fan fiction right now.
No, there was.
When are we not?
There was some like actual Din dialogue this episode that you could edit into situations. Because there was like a scene where he was saying higher, lower. No, right there. Like it was. Right there. I was like, someone's having
more
fun with this. Yeah, I was like, someone is editing this dialogue.
Someone somewhere is doing somewhere.
I feel like I missed an opportunity. I should have got on the horn and fucking made that happen. But Marcus, I think
that's too.
I think that that's a fair point. I mean, definitely for us to have spent, let's say you take all of the flashback scenes and you compress them into the first 2 episodes of the show, right? And then, cheers, everybody. We're cheersing. I see a cheers. I got to raise a glass. If you guys get put a 1 in the chat if you want to cheers with everybody. Cheers, everybody. Appreciate you. It's 5:00 somewhere. So like, even though it's Sunday, so it doesn't matter. No, there are no rules and nothing makes sense. But like, yeah, I think that some element, I think establishing that the Pikes were like a nefarious threat a little earlier, and that would eventually become the big bad that he was going to have to fight would help focus. And then just give me a fucking shit heel ass fucking Pike to hate. Like give me somebody.
Honestly,
to focus.
Forget
on,
the bikers. Make it some Pike. rich guys hassling the people. Like, just
honestly, they haven't done
focus it.
shit aside from be drug dealers. And
They're
honestly,
just drug dealers. They're just trying to get people
And
their
drug
stuff.
dealers-
And
Cool,
we
man.
love drug dealers in
Okay,
Star
no,
Wars.
they did. They were shooting out of the train.
They were.
I guess, yeah, but technically, but the
No, they
the
were doing
Tuskens
that
were
for-
trying to.
No, they
were
just
they
shooting
were doing
them.
pot shots. You're right.
They
I
were
forgot
just
about
being
that.
assholes.
Yeah.
No, the
Yeah.
Pikes are
they were
Pikes are assholes.
They were
That
being
was some
assholes.
colonialism.
They were being assholes,
Yeah.
but I just felt like they could have like within like like some dust up or whatever that Boba has, like he gives one of them a scar and you can really tell like that you can remember who it is. And you're like, that's that motherfucker. Like, you know what I mean? Like there's some kind of
classic sci-fi shit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, well, here we go. My hope is that Mando goes to see where Grogu is training with Luke, but Luke is away doing something. So Cal Kestis, how do we say that?
Kestis.
Cal
Kestis. Thank you. Cal Kestis is there, substitute teaching. That would be fucking pretty.
I would love that. I would love that so much. Unfortunately, we are getting Fallen Order 2, so Cal Kestis's future is up for debate.
Right.
I wonder if there will be some Mandalorian tie-ins though to the second game. I think that would be cool.
That would be
I would like that a
interesting.
lot.
Yeah.
I would love to like have to deal with like Pelimoto or whatever for all of your starship upgrades. That would be fun.
There we go.
I would love it.
Yeah. Get Amy Sedaris in a video game, please.
Just have her in Star Wars always.
Amy
My
Sedaris.
hope is that we go and visit Grogu and he's remote learning on a laptop, just to really hammer it home and make it feel like really authentic.
Oh, he's in a
Yeah, I
little
mean,
Zoom.
He's in a Zoom and like, yeah, it's the
Oh
worst.
my god, he's a little zoom. It's like that would be incredible.
Okay, we don't know the title of the video game yet, but nobody knows what I'm talking about when I say Star Wars Jedi 2. Everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say Star Wars Fallen Order 2. Thank you.
Fallen
Okay.
Jedi 2. It's Star Wars. Yes, absolutely. No, no. Okay. Well, then, let's all get into. Well, also, like one of my favorite scenes, I think, was I really did like all of the stuff with the armorer. Like I loved all of that shit. Like, like all of that stuff was really I thought was again like it was when it fully set in that I was like, we are not getting a second of Boba Fett in this fucking episode.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Or like we're just like we are just whole hog going into the lore of Din's story. Honestly, I mean, like
I was like, that was how you do an exposition dump.
Right.
It was like a really well done one where it's like, okay, we're watching armor being forged, but also we're learning. So it's not like some character saying stuff where they wouldn't normally say stuff. It's like, no, she would be like, talking up what the whole thing is.
Right.
While she's like forging armor. I was like, it made sense to me.
Right. Yeah. It's like Marcus is like, her voice is so soothing. It is like get that actress a fucking what is it? What are those what's it like the Soothe app or whatever it is that I see like on things all the time where it's like they're hiring people left and right. You know what I mean? Like they're getting
Doesn't Pedro Pascal do that?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be well. I don't know if I'd be able to. I don't know if I'd be able to get to sleep if he was with.
Yeah, I think that would be like contra, like whatever. But I do want to shout out my friend Hot Soda Designs. He has an armorer pin that as of yesterday, or maybe this morning, Bo-Katan herself, Katie Sackhoff, bought.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so like a bunch of the Mandalorian actors are like straight up buying his pins.
That's amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that's incredible.
Hot Soda Designs, you should check them out. 10 out of 10.
Here we go. Let's talk about this because we were talking about the kind of like the backstory, and again, like we got a flashback to like the Purge, like the Mandalorian, which was, I'm sure as a big Clone Wars fan and a Rebels fan, Maddie, that had to have been pretty fucking wild.
It really was, honestly. Like I still remember like watching that going, oh my God, because it's like, it's so crazy to like think of Star Wars, especially as like a post-apocalyptic story in which like every faction of this overgrown civilization like has their own like extinction event.
Yeah.
And like how they like are causing each other's and like building each other back up and like trying to survive one another. And it's just like, I don't know, like I have a lot to say about like the way apocalypse and like whether that's cultural apocalypse, whether that's genocide, like how that plays out in sci-fi stories, because I think that inherently in the world that we are, I think that every story is going to be an apocalyptic story of some sort. After, like, especially after COVID, like, you know, everybody did war movies after 9/11. That was their version of like post-apocalyptic. Like, and I don't, you know, we'll get into that later, but like that's a different show. But I think that there's lots to say about like particularly the stories of science fiction reflecting the culture of the time that it was made. And I think that these like stories that we see of like people getting wiped out like over and over and over really are like very telling about, you know, our fears and our like how we overcome them. So.
I think of that.
But yes, I do think Mandalore was nuked.
Yeah, I mean, it. Well,
so you think that the actual planet is unlivable?
I don't know if it exists anymore. It might have gotten Alderaan. We don't know.
Alderaan, like full on, just like.
Well, it seemed like a bombing campaign, and it seems like from what I remember, the armor saying that like you need to. Was it in order to become a Mandalorian again? If you want to get your fucking,
you need to go to the living waters underneath in the caves of underneath Mandalore, and he was like, those don't exist anymore.
Did he really? But then she's just like, this is the way. So I think he has to go see. I think that remains to be seen.
Go check it out.
It would be cool if everybody thought this planet exploded and Boba went to Mandalore, and it was like, spoiler alert, like everybody's living on one of the asteroids, or like whatever. I think if there was like a secret cadre of Mandalorians like on Mandalore, after everybody thought it would blow up, I think that would be really cool.
That could be would
be so cool.
Or like there's like, you know, we thought was once uninhabitable or something like that, or maybe like we thought that it was completely it was completely like basically wiped out or whatever the fuck it is, but like there's, you know, like maybe Morgan's a big fan of the mole people and mole people storylines and stuff like that.
You gotta go underground.
You get underground. You just like take cover.
Things get hairy. You just go underground. I understand.
I don't understand. Like what's everybody doing?
People aren't digging in the ground.
Right. 100%.
You're into everything.
That's what I mean. You know, sometimes, hey, if it works, it works. Yeah, if it works, it works. Speaking of working and go to work, we got to talk about the episode MVP. This can be a character, it can be a plot line, it can be a filmmaker, it can be like a composer, it can be any number of different things. Who were your episode MVPs for this week?
I mean, aside from the titular Mandalorian, I would say Bryce Dallas Howard.
That was my runner-up.
It was a super fun episode, and like, you know, everybody's been kind of lauding her for her other episodes as well.
Yeah,
and it just like it's interesting. Like you can really see the difference of the different style, like of the directors. Where like you know, like the Robert Rodriguez episodes feel very different than the Bryce Dallas Howard episodes. Feel very different than who was the guy that did the.
Well, there was Steph Green who did the second one, the big train one, which I think is the contender.
That was a cool one.
Between the second and this episode, I think those are my two favorite episodes of the season.
Yeah,
I would say. Yeah. But yeah, so and both women. You know what I mean? Which was, you know, it's like, but I, right? You know what I mean? Like, which I was like, because it was like, I thought that women couldn't handle Star Wars, like, or whatever the fuck it was. Like, I've been watching too much Star Wars theory. You know what I mean? Like, so, but the, because those guys are fucking weird. And your brain will get fucked up if you fucking watch that shit too much. No, but like, it was, you can definitely tell, like, especially these episodes, it seems like the director's hand has kind of seemingly weighed a little bit more than in most shows. Like where you really feel the difference of some of those fucking episodes. You know what I mean? And I think this one was no different. And again, like to your point earlier, Morgan, about like you got an exposition heavy scene, but we gotta overlay that with a little sweater making, like, you know, type of thing for the best boy and stuff like that. And like you kind of, and it will kind of help move things along. You know what I mean? Like, and you're still able to kind of dispel that amount of stuff. The here, we got something. Well, any other MVPs over there on the Trace's side? What do you got over there?
Mine,
yeah,
it was my runner up is Bryce Dallas Howard, but Pelimoto fucked a Jawa. And that's on some queen shit.
I knew you were going to mention that, and I knew you would be in full support of it, and I was also in full support of it.
That's on some queen shit, so she's a legend.
Yeah,
confirmed. So,
well, I'm sad.
No,
keep going. What were you saying?
I was just
that's it. Like,
you can't have Amy Sedaris show up in a show and say I fucked a Jawa, and they're very furry, and it was awesome.
They're so furry.
Right.
So furry. Oh, yeah. And me not crown her MVP. Like, that would go against my brand.
So I'm sad that y'all played that clip for mine, because my MVP was going to be the Naboo Starfighter.
Oh, there we go.
Because this isn't my Easter egg. I like had another thing for it, but like when it showed up on screen, I like cried. Like, I am technically a prequel child, even though I saw the original trilogy first. I remember seeing the original trilogy first. I am a prequels child. And so like, I always thought that was one of my favorite starfighters growing up. And so like, to like see it, I was just like, oh, it's back. And it looks really good.
And she, and the sound of it too. Like it was
so sexy.
It was very cool.
When it ignites and it just like, he was like, wow, it's a lot of engine for a little ship. And she's like, yeah, that's the point. It's like a Ferrari. Like it's a Porsche. Like, it's so good. I love it.
That is like, and that just shows you how like what extra ass bitches they were on Naboo. We're just like,
oh my God.
Like,
I mean,
our cops
look at Padme's
drive
fits.
around in Ferraris. Like
yeah. Like, look at Padme's fits. Like, honestly, that's
totally.
Could you expect anything
Padme
less?
and her Euphoria makeup.
Oh my God. Yes.
Stop. Yeah.
That's
oh my
amazing. You're not wrong.
I love that. No, that's good. The MVP. I mean, like, well, somebody actually said it. I think a little bit before, and it's like I was gonna put. Where is he? Oh my God! No, my biggest one was MVP for this episode was the security droid for not not seizing his rightful heir to the Mandalorian throne and taking the Darksaber away from Din when he checked it in the one spot.
Yeah.
Like,
that was his security battle. He technically won it.
Yeah, he won.
He won a verbal battle.
And he could have been like, hold on, picked it up, and then he just stabs Din in the fucking chest or something like that with it or whatever it was. You got to take it by force. There has to be some type of it's got to be some type of a fight, some type of battle or whatever. But yeah, that shout out to that droid. Just fucking, he was like, listen, I do my job. I get my fucking, like, I got him working on a good pension. It's a good job. Like, I got to fight to keep it and stuff like that. And so he wasn't going to make to let his ambitions to rule Mandalore get the best of him, which I think was which was for the best for the whole show. Also, and Pelly tells the Jawas to dig through a dumpster. There were so many allusions.
She's like, I let him root around
asshole in this fucking show. Like, and her hoo-ha, like it was just like, wow, like I didn't expect this many references. I mean, coming from the stranger, like the stranger with the candy, like star. I mean, it's to be expected, but it's not until you see it, you know what I mean, that you're just like, oh wait, no, we're doing this. Like, we're talking about like Jawa dicks. We're talking about my butthole. Like, we're doing all of these things, like while we're building like this new, like what's going to be, I'm sure, a new toy for everybody to play with and shit like that. But I thought that was pretty fucking great. Moving right along. We are talking about, and we maybe the McClunky moments of this show, and if there is any, like, what do you guys got for a McClunky moment over there? What are you thinking, Maddie? Do you have something that you would like, kind of a moment that you would like? And again, a McClunky moment is a moment that you would like you could maybe either change or something that you think could be done better or something like that, like a little production note. What do you got for us, Maddie?
So I really liked this episode a lot. So it's hard to find stuff to criticize, but I think the McClunky moment was how little Book of Boba there was.
Yeah.
In the show. Like, and I think we could all agree with that. Like, it was just like very fraught. I guess I will say that the X-Wing patrols didn't really land for me, the New Republic patrollers.
Oh, right.
I was so excited to see our pal again, but I was also like, I don't like, what is the purpose of this moment except for you to be like, oh my god, it's him. Like,
right.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Or again, like that was a moment that you maybe could have utilized for him to run into somebody that was in Boba's orbit.
Exactly.
Literally not the orbit of the planet. Like you could have taken that, like again, because it's just like it's there to go, to Leo point and just to go, that's the guy, and he's gonna play Uncle Iroh in the fucking live action, Avatar and stuff like that. That's really fun or whatever. And and that's cool. But I think that we could have used that, like, I don't know, he goes and lands the ship and I don't know, man, like runs into Black Chrysanthemum or so runs into the Mods or somebody like that to talk to communicate with the program that we've been watching for the last 5 weeks. A little bit. I think like when I don't know. I think that was we have Uncle Iroh in space. Oh my god.
Very exciting.
It's very very fucking cool. Absolutely. Luke is coming back next season for sure. Do you mean in Mandalorian season 3? I think that is fair. I think we'll see him again. But the helmet question after the duel could have done without that. I mean, I think that there's something to that. I don't know, Traces, what do you guys got for your McClunky moments over there? What do y'all got?
I honestly completely concur where there wasn't, if you just gave me this episode with like, and said this was season 3 Mandalorian, I'd be like, this is a perfect premiere. It's so great. I love everything about it. But as an episode, the fact that it was in Boba Fett, I think, is the McClunky of it all. Because it's like, if it's going to be an episode of Boba Fett, you have to have he has to get on Boba Fett's Tatooine, not Mandalorian's Tatooine.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, actually, in the chat right now, Dinah has a good spot thing where she's like, well, Mando fixing the ship on Tatooine, like, you could have just let Peli Motto do that and had Mando go wander around and like
meet people,
hang out and see what you could have filled in a lot of what's going on in the Boba verse,
right? With
that time. Like, I know the droid stuff was cute and we saw a lot. We got a lot of droid fulfillment.
Loved it.
Right. Shout out to all the droid heads like over there. Like they definitely got their no, I think so. I mean, like he could have been like he could have helped her a little bit but I don't know. I mean, but then you had the jaw. Yeah, because like he could have went off to try to get a part, but then that's what the jaw was for. Digging around in fucking Amy Sedaris' dumpster. You know what I mean? Like and stuff like that over there, So
which
like
I think is cute. I think it was like I liked the idea of giving that, like, how'd they get it? Oh, they basically stole the catalytic converter off of the bottom of a spaceship. So I know that's cute.
No, I think and again, like that's more to the thing that I love about it, where it's just like that's just more like characterization for Jawas that I just haven't considered, where they're just like, it's like, hey, don't ask. Like, it's like, how'd you get that part?
Hey, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it over there. You know what I mean? Like, and I love shit like that. Jacob's like, the N1 side engines looked a bit too naked. Well, I think that's a little bit by design, because I think it was kind of like a bit of a beater up, and I think they wanted to. I mean, frankly, it's a new toy.
They do look naked, but I kind of like the
a little stripped down,
exposed industrial vibe of it. Yeah, and I think Din likes that too. So I think she was just appealing to his aesthetical appeal.
Right, and also it's definitely like, as far as like a beater, like if you have like a I don't know. I mean, like it is like an old muscle car though, isn't it? Like where people would be like, but it's like a little rusty, a little beat up, but people would know like, oh fuck, like that's a 70 Dodge Charger. You know what I mean? Like that's fucking crazy. You know what I mean? Or whatever. At least within this world. And so, I think as far as like my McClunky moment, I think that, it's not really like so much. Yeah, I think that there was on the second rewatch of the episode, because I watched it again, and that kind of fixer-upper thing had some fun stuff, like while they're fixing the ship. But that was the part, if the episode dragged at all, it was there, and it kind of but it doesn't feel like it, because Amy Sedaris is hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so like it's kind of, that's like the one thing that I could maybe knock it for, because everything else, like I had a great, there was a bloody head in a sack dripping gore, like
in a meat factory.
Like,
Enemy factory.
no, I mean, like,
Also, he just owed like his poker team some money. Like, let's not forget, this was just like he owed someone money. It wasn't like, oh, he killed my brother.
right.
I expect, I don't know, sometimes that energy of like slicing a guy through a table. I'm like, yeah, it's like he murdered or he did something where someone lost their life or like he was like human trafficking or something. No, he just owed money. Just like he owes someone $50.
I kind of, but I think that I know what you mean, Morgan, but I kind of like how I sort of like how gritty and kind of amoral it is. It's a little like, it's like a Boba Fett show.
We can't forget that Mandalorian's still a bounty hunter, and that's it's a dark game. Sometimes you're slicing a guy in half because he owes $50
because he has a gambling debt. You know what I mean? Like, totally. I mean, like, well, I think that I think his whole. I wonder if he's like having like a moment, like what's his face, like Hawkeye, like after the snap or whatever, and he's like, I lost my boy, and so I've been really throwing myself into my work, and he's like, you know, he doesn't give as much of a fuck anymore. Like that could have been. I don't think that was necessarily telegraphed.
Because if little Grogu was there, he would like.
He would be like, I don't, not in front of it. He would have like started to go and he would have put up his little hand and be like, don't, come on, Dad, chill out, it'll be okay. Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And again, like a lot of references to Grogu in this episode.
Know.
Like
he was almost my MVP because like he was so powerful without even being in the episode.
Right.
But like we got that little, I don't know if they're making him a little hat or a little shirt. I think probably a little chain
tunic. Maybe he's getting a maester chain.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be. I mean, like I do remember there being like chain links, so it seems like a little vest, a little mithril vest
to wear under his little.
Right. We need
like a little like ILM leather daddy like chain look.
And then there was also the sunroof in that ship.
Yeah, that's totally a Grogu bubble.
That is a Grogu bubble. We're like, of course,
the literal, like you said, a literal sunroof, like as Morgan said.
Sunroof.
Right up there. No, I mean,
it's a roof for his son.
I think it is going to be like a chain mail type of a like little type of shirt, you know what I mean? Like he's gonna need his.
How cute would it be if he got a little helmet?
Oh, it would be amazing. It would be the best thing ever.
Ears and everything.
I need to see the scene where Din like puts the shirt and he puts his little hands up and he puts the little shirt on and like I just need to see it. Yeah. I need to see him to put the little shirt on him.
A tiny lightsaber.
A tiny little.
That speaks to like the like that's the funny Denny dickhead in me where I'm just like, not everybody needs to have lightsabers. Like I don't know why we have to be so binary about lightsabers. I think that Grogu's like it would be hilarious to see him with
What's he gonna do with the lightsaber? Yeah. What's he gonna do with the lightsaber? True, honest question. What's he gonna do with it? He's a baby.
No, that's so right. Other than like,
he's gonna hurt himself.
Like cut his fucking ear off or something like that, or whatever it is. You know, like,
no, he might slice a frog.
He'll murder a frog and eat all their young in front of them, or whatever. Like that's what.
The big bad is just Frog Wife getting revenge on all of her children being consumed by Grogu.
And she'd be right.
And she would be right.
Have done that.
This is literally like something that me and my husband have been fucking working for fucking for years. Like I went on a pilgrimage and you're just popping these things like grapes. I think that as far as like McClunkey moment, I mean like there's not a lot, but it is one of the most interesting paradoxes that I've ever seen where like having your best episode of the show kind of be the problem. You know what I mean?
Like this is my top episode so far. Which,
right. And
I feel like it's everybody's, honestly.
No, yeah, I mean, it was such a great episode. Like it was so much fun.
Yeah. Bryce knows what she's doing. John knows what she's doing. Like Din knows what he's doing. Like everybody there was like, we're here to do the same thing, and I just don't think that's true the rest of the show.
Yeah.
I can't think of any other time this has happened in a show.
I will do the when the Night King got killed on Game of Thrones as an episode, as a horror movie. It really worked for me as a horror movie. as like a zombie.
Like as a piece of
adventure.
filmmaking and shit like that. Yeah, I think so.
It worked. And then when the episode was over, I'm like, man, that was awesome. And then I'm like, wait, they just killed the
when you think about it.
Essential. That's actually really bad for the show.
Yeah.
Killing him. So but
it's still it was still informed and related to the overall story that we were watching.
True.
This is like they just shoehorned another show inside. They turduckened it.
It was like a backdoor premiere almost.
Yes.
Not quite a backdoor pilot, a backdoor premiere.
Exactly.
What was the season that what was the episode in was it Avatar Korra where it was like the first Avatar one?
Oh, the Avatar one.
But that one, that one
okay.
didn't actually hurt the show though, but it wasn't really
stylistically different.
It was completely different. It was a completely different, like little awesome thing in the middle of a different show.
Well,
that wasn't necessarily informed.
Right.
And it worked, though.
But I feel like a lot of the things that we saw within this episode are not really going to relate to the story that much, other than the fact that
I know.
You know what I mean? Like him getting the ship is not really going to play into Boba's story. Him getting the fucking the making the armor is not going to play into the story. Him doing all this shit is not going to play into the end game.
It's going to play into Mandalorian,
or rather, it should not play into the end of this story.
Well, no. I mean, insofar as it doesn't relate to the story that we've been watching. You know what I mean?
No, I agree. Yeah. And I hope it doesn't, even though that sounds weird and messed up. But I don't want the Mandalorian to come in and hijack the show. And that's what we've done. But I love watching the Mandalorian, so I'm not terribly mad about it. But I'm also just
gonna still watch it. But
I want to give me good Boba Fett. Don't just give me shitty Boba Fett and then give me a really good episode of The Mandalorian, because then I'm gonna feel some way about Boba Fett.
Well,
this next episode is gonna be so hard.
It's gonna be hard, and it's gonna be really important.
So hard for them. Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting. I feel okay. Well, that's interesting. Fuck. Let's just get into it. We'll talk about the fucking always tell me the odds. Where we talk about Well, no. We got the Easter eggs. We got to do the Easter eggs first, and then we'll talk about
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs, and there were a lot of them. There were a lot of them.
Million of them.
There was 100 billion million of them. But what do we? Maddie, what do you got as far as what was your favorite Easter egg over there?
My favorite Easter egg it's a cross between probably Wizard, which I was so happy to see.
Yes.
I was so happy to see, and the sand bat that crows in the morning.
Bat.
It looked like it was the dragon looking thing.
Yeah.
Because it's from A New Hope. There's one in A New Hope.
Right.
But I just loved that sort of regress back to Star Wars, as these are a bunch of weird fantasy props that we bought on a lot, and we're gonna try and work into this movie. It's great. And it looks really good. And I'm just oh yeah, dragons. Oh yeah, dragons. You know?
Oh yeah, dragons.
Very happy. Very happy. But but for me, definitely when Din Djarin looked directly at the camera, I went, Wizard. I was yes.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. They were just
a crazy old man.
They are.
We got the witches.
Yeah, we got the witches of Dathomir. Yeah.
And then we got a
shout out,
I'm a magic exists.
Yeah, because that's from Phantom Menace. That's a dumb thing that Anakin says when he's really excited about something, and that just became
right.
Yeah, and that just became a thing. People say wizard. When a pilot makes a really good flight, they say it's Griffin magic. So there's this fun sort of comedic relationship with magic in the Star Wars slang and lingo.
Right. No, I love that. Yeah, and for me, one of mine that I thought was fun was I know that we've seen Womp Rats, but I don't think that we've seen them this up close before. And they are terrifying. They are way bigger. I mean, they're about 2 meters. I think they say what was it? They're about 2 meters, I think, which is, because I think they make a reference to that in A New Hope. It's 2 meters away. It's oh yeah, the Womp Rats that we used to bullseye back in Tatooine. They're not much more than 2 meters. But I just kind of forgot about that. And it was literally ready to eat Amy Sedaris alive in the beginning of the episode. Yeah. That would have been had he not showed up, it would have. It possibly would have just been curtains for. Oh, and the little guy got his little leg hurt, which I thought was really fucking. And shit like that. That was very funny. No, but but that was I loved that was a nice little touch again, just giving more context to things that we've kind of known and made mention of.
And I want to point out this super chat that we just got from Marcus Reyes. Please. I think it's relevant. In keeping with the Western influences, the Inn one is basically a horse, has a spot for passenger bounty, and likely carries provisions for a small camp.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. I was wondering, is like the storage kind of like on the underbelly of the ship?
It's on the underbelly, and I think that she converted the astromech pedal behind him like into like extra cargo space, whether that's for bounties, whether that's for whatever.
Because it's like if you were to make like a fucking if you were to get like your bounty and then you have to stuff like a body into like the back of like a convertible or
literally.
Like kind of what it is,
when I first saw it, I just thought of like Grogu peeking his head out.
Absolutely.
Like
he is going into that little tiny hub.
Like that would be so great. I would love that.
There's
in that little Yahtzee bubble.
Yeah, the Yahtzee bubble, exactly.
Sunroof.
The literal sunroof.
And I think but y'all have to remember about the astromechs. Like, remember they go into the ship and then they're pushed up. So I think there's a lot more room in that well than you think, because she said that she took out the droid port, which means that there's a lot more space in there than
there you go.
You could fit more than an R2D2 in there now.
There you go. Right on. Yeah, I mean, probably just have to like
back in the 20s, they called that a rumble seat.
A rumble seat. There we go.
Yeah, the back part, like when you watch the Beverly Hillbillies and like the grandmas in the back, that's the rumble seat.
I thought she was on a
she's in a rocking chair.
Yeah, like on a rocking chair. Yeah, for sure. No, I mean, yeah, he will pilot that. He will pilot that ship with Grogu.
As Christopher Miller just said.
That is puppet hole for sure. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, I mean, I told you, I've always been crazy about puppet holes. I'm George Lucas. I've always been crazy about puppet holes.
I want to
what the
I want to shout out this comment right above the super chat from John Nakano. It was actually his friend Kidster that said wizard. # where's Kidster? We're on Kidster Watch. We're on Kidster Watch.
We're on Kidster Watch. That would be great. Kidster.
What if the big bad was Kidster?
Oh my god! Oh my! I mean, well, hey, I mean, at least we could. You could give me a big bad. You could give.
We don't have one.
We don't have one.
You're not wrong.
You
don't wrong. Yeah.
Everybody has been in the chat. Like, there's a bunch of mentions where everybody's saying that like the part that the Jawas steal is the same as the pole that they used in the garbage matter.
Yes.
Is is that true? Like, that would be really interesting if it is.
I remember. I was one of those things like where I remember in my brain I was like, I know what the fuck that is, and then I think I saw like
they made a big deal about it, so I think that like that could be really interesting. I love that's like some deep ref.
Yeah, that's a big one, and that's the kind of nods that I sort of like. Like I would prefer not to have like a CGI Luke show up, but I prefer shit like that, like little things that kind of connect like the stories to one another and shit like that.
I only care about when they reiterate that the holiday special is canon. One thing I care about.
I posted a picture of the trash compactor with the pole in our stream.
Okay, here, I'll see if I can get a hold of it.
Let's look. I mean, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. No, it is. It is. It absolutely is. But
also the other big one that I was going to mention was the actor that's in the Space Cops scene.
Yeah.
The not Uncle Iroh is the actor that played the de-aged Luke in the episode.
He was like the body. He was
like the body
double. He was like the body stunt double.
He's the body man.
He's the body man.
I couldn't recognize like where I knew him from. I knew that he was familiar. I knew he was somebody, but I didn't know who he was. That makes sense.
Yeah. He's the body massage.
It's like
mine was also the Womp Rats, but it's like we live behind like 3 restaurants, so like that Womp Rat wasn't that big to me. I live in Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Behind 3 restaurants. And so I have rats in my backyard that are bigger than my dogs.
Yeah.
I've been Pelimoto at times.
Yeah, we have some
dragged into a rat.
Some ROUSSs.
Oh my god! We've asked Dave
rats
Filoni.
Are crazy.
We've asked Dave Filoni where Kister is. He says, "I don't know where that kid is." He of all people could bring him in. I'm waiting. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Hashtag
bring him in.
Hashtag
hot or bring him in cold.
Wait, is Kitster different than Kit Fisto?
Yes,
definitely different. Definitely different.
For sure,
Who
different.
Was Kitster?
Kitster was a friend of Anakin's when he was a little kid, and that's where.
But it wasn't that couple.
No, not the assholes that got hassled by the bikers.
different. He had 3 friends.
He had 3 friends.
Well, no, it's Anakin's friend.
sucks.
Anakin's friend.
It's Anakin's friend, not Luke's friend.
Luke's friend.
Oh, Luke had friends. Anakin had 1 friend. Luke had 2 friends. Okay.
Right. Yeah. I think.
I'm posting
so
another
confused. I am
image for
so
Morgan.
confused.
There you go.
There we go.
Yeah, I
Oh
need
wait,
to see.
hang on.
No, but the yeah. So I don't. There was a lot of fun. Any other Easter eggs that we want to bring up? I think there were some fun ones in there, you know, and stuff like
There's
that.
some more, but I don't
Oh,
care
he's
about
so
all of them.
cute.
So
Yeah.
I'm like we talked about the stuff that I care about. So.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. Like, they pretty much put in like 6 droids that we haven't seen
right
into the universe, which is
Like,
pretty
oh my
rad.
god, the KX model droids. Ah, I screamed. I forgot.
Right.
Like that slow
Yeah, there's
like
There's
explosion.
a ton of droids.
Yeah, big droid.
There were so
cool.
many. There were so many
big droid
Easter
energy.
eggs.
BDE. Big
Yeah,
droid
BDE.
energy. And
Yes.
For
There were
sure.
so many Easter eggs. I was just like, boop, boop.
Yeah.
Oh,
But and even like Easter eggs
Yeah.
within Mando's own like callbacks to Mandalorian. You know what I mean? Like not even
Every
just like,
callback to Mandalorian is technically an Easter egg. So
Yes, exactly.
This
100
episode was one giant Easter egg.
it was huge. Now this is going to be what I think is going to be some really interesting stuff. Always tell me the odds, where we talk about what we speculate think is going to happen in the next episode, and in the we might even be speculating on 2 different shows given this fucking episode.
Right.
So like, always tell me the odds. I'll start with it and I'll just be like a question, like, is Din going to be completely out of the next episode? I think that he is.
Sure.
And then
He
he's
had
going to
this,
come
that
back
weird
for the
little
finale.
he's like, I gotta drop off this shirt.
It would make sense if he was, but it would also make sense if he wasn't. Like,
Right.
I don't know if we're gonna time skip for the next episode and he's like back, or like what. Like we don't have enough information to know either way, in my opinion. But
Sure.
I gotta go. I picked up this Uber Eats side gig. I gotta go take my new M1 fighter and go deliver this shirt to this little hero.
Task rabbiting.
He's task rabbiting.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, it's
he's
better
just-
than You know what? The 2021 bounty hunting is just task rabbiting, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course. It's about that gig economy. You know what I
Oh my
mean?
god,
Like,
that episode of the latest season of Westworld, where he's like, yeah, we're like bounty hunters, we're all on this app. That's what that reminded me of.
Oh, sure.
Totally.
Sure. I can see that for sure. Lainey Williams is, I think the next will do half Mando, half Boba.
I
mean,
hope so.
That sounds like a cocktail. It's a half Mando, half Boba.
half Mando, half
I
Boba.
mean,
Get
if
it in there.
we think we definitely don't get Grogu.
Nah.
But he has to have that shirt.
What I
He
think
has
is going to
to
happen
put
is
his
that
little hands up.
he's gonna roll out, right, and then we're gonna kind of do our Boba thing and shit like that, and we're gonna kind of see where the rest of that story goes, and I think that he's gonna come back in the finale to kind of like save the day or something like, or like he'll be reinstituted into the story in the finale, and then I think that we will do a flashback for the premiere of Mando season 3 to see him drop off the shirt is what I think is going to happen. I think
The fact that you're describing the season 3 premiere of Mandalorian as Mandalorian delivers a shirt.
he delivered a shirt, but the recipient
He
of that
delivers the shirt and he's got like the Yeezy dropped. He's got a pair of boots for him and a new like.
They look like they
Beskar
should be from
shirt.
Star Wars. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. No, I think he's going to be, I think he's going to be gone. I think he's
You
going to
think
be
he's
out,
going to be gone?
and he'll come back for the finale for episode 6, I think.
Okay.
Or
No,
episode 7, rather,
But
coming.
again, I have a problem with that. Is
Yeah.
that like having him come back and like save the day is really just cucking the shit out of Boba.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
It's like,
No.
oh well, Boba can't do what he needs to do unless he has the Mandalorian.
Right.
That sucks. It
And,
sucks for
and
Boba.
I feel like the whole point of Boba Fett is a bounty hunter trying to use diplomacy over like brute force because he realized that like the way he was living wasn't making him happy and he was working
Right.
for jerks. So I'm like, but if you just have another bounty hunter come in and fix your problem, it doesn't really work for Boba's story.
Yeah, and then
I
Mando
agree.
comes in, slices a dog in half, and everybody's like, "Fuck yeah, awesome!"
Yeah.
He slices a dog.
A dog
The
in half.
Clintines
absolutely.
are dogs.
It's just like a big. I mean, it is a Star Wars. It is a Star Wars
I
property.
just imagine Boba Fett having a meeting with all the crime bosses at the final season or final episode, and Mandalorian walking in, tossing up a poodle and slicing it with a dark saber, and it pops apart like a piñata.
Or
Like
like
confetti.
remember that scene in Monty Python and the Holy Grail where John Cleese is just like laying waste to the wedding party, like as he's going through the castle or whatever it is. Like he's just in kill shot mode. Like it's like, and he just,
I
and then
can't.
it's like
I
when
cannot.
he killed my cook, the dog, and my door guy and shit like that. Like what the fuck, Din? What the fuck is going on with you, dude? Like,
Show over.
Show's
all
over.
Problem solved. That poodle's dead.
I love it. Not the poodle.
Not the poodle.
Not the
poodle.
space poodle. He's just a young boy, the space poodle. No,
Jacob and I agree. Not
right,
the poodle. Not the poodle.
what Maddie, what do you think is gonna go on? What do you think is gonna happen?
So
in the
you're
next couple
coming down
episodes?
on no Din. Morgan, Dustin, are y'all coming down on yes Din or no Din?
I'm gonna say no
I'm gonna say no.
because I
Okay.
want it too bad.
There.
And it's
They never give me
2022,
what I want.
and we cannot get what we want, right? What do
Yeah,
you think,
no.
Maddie?
I agree with you. I know I said earlier that I think that Boba will, or that I hoped that, Din will show up in the last 2 episodes to make it make sense and they had to catch him up. But like, I don't see how that works with the scenario we've been presented at the end of the episode. So if Din does show up, I think it's going to be a time skip. And if he doesn't show up, I think, I don't know what I think. I don't like, I hope we get a big bad in episode 6. Like I hope we deserve that.
Somebody for me to pin my animosity on.
Yeah, exactly.
If what the fuck are we fucking fighting for? This is the other thing I will say is that
It was the Gamorreans all along.
it was the Gamorreans all
They had been
along.
pulling strings. The double pig brothers, they've been doing it all. They're conveniently absent at certain
like whenever he
times.
gets 100%.
The Lannister pig bros.
The
Yeah.
Lannister pig bros.
Yeah. I'd support that.
The
Pigs in a
Gamorrean.
blanket, man.
So I think we're going to get more Guards of Whip.
Mm-hmm.
I hope.
I know we all hope, we all pray.
No, you want
What? No, say it.
I think. Well, I think that that was another. I mean, it was. I forgot. It was one of my other McClunkies. Was I think that Madame Garza is the Giancarlo Esposito of this season.
Mhm.
I think that he's the. What was the name of his character in Mandalorian? The Gustavo Frings. Like what was his name? What was his name again? Tell me in the chat.
I don't
forgotten.
remember, and that's the problem.
Yep.
That's a big problem.
Moff Gideon.
Moff
Gideon. That's right.
Fucking Gideon. Yes. Okay.
I was like,
Did
I know
nothing.
it's a title.
Thank you. Thank you to everybody in the chat helping us out. Sorry, I know I just got my fucking.
We've
Star
never
Wars
seen a Star Wars before.
We've never seen a Star Wars before.
Well, we've just been yelling about Boba Fett for so long that all of our Mandalorian stuff is locked away. We got to go up to the attic.
We got to go up to the attic and
Yeah.
dust the cobwebs off a little
Yeah.
bit. I think that she's going to be the Moff Gideon of this season, where it's just going to be just woefully underused.
I thought you were gonna say villain, secret backdoor villain.
No,
but
I
you
mean, no, that would be
woefully
something
underused.
interesting, and I don't think that they're going
No,
to.
I would love that, and I just don't think they have it in them.
Right. Yeah. Or they've also, again, if she's gonna do a turn, if it's gonna mean something, they would have needed to build up a little bit of camaraderie between her and Boba for it to mean something to the story.
When she
You know what I
knifes
mean?
him.
Like,
Yeah,
I mean, like
so
if she does at this point, she said like 4 lines of dialogue an episode, if that. You know what I mean? For every season, and that's just not enough. You know what I mean? Like, but I hope so. So I don't know.
I'm gonna say it. I don't know if I'll be right. I probably am not, but I think they're gonna kill Boba Fett at the end of this series.
Really?
I would be down for it.
That'd be
Because
wild.
it's the book of Boba Fett. It has to end, right?
Right.
He's so tired. Let him have a nap.
And I think that the rate that it's going, they're not going to have a season 2.
You think so?
So I think he dies.
Why
you think he
would
dies?
you?
That would be
Why
okay.
would
So
you?
you heard it right here. Boba Fett's gonna eat it at the end of the season. You think so? Who's gonna take over? He's gonna give it to Fennec, and then she'll be able to take over.
Fennec.
That'd be pretty great.
Great.
She's been the one who's been kicking the most ass in the fucking season. Honestly, you know what I mean? Like most of the big
have her be. She needs a comic foil though. Just get her a goofy guy.
We need this is where we have definitely needed a sassy droid. And or something like that, or and again, like
she needs a Yaskier. She needs a Yaskier.
Yeah. No, I think and I think one of them, like you could totally characterize like one of the mods, like where it's like I modify some stuff on my brain, but it makes me really talk like really fast, like, and I kind of put in a bunch of it. There's a way that you could write a character like that could be fun and quirky and interesting out of one of those,
because her in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I feel like there was a couple goofy characters, and she was always a great straight man. Like she could do comedy with the whole like deadpan stuff. Exactly. But it's like when you have a deadpan character with another deadpan character, it's like we need someone to crack a joke.
Honestly, like it was right there. They had it. They could have done it so easily. Any one of the mods, characters that we didn't know existed. Yep. You could have just made a mod do anything you wanted.
I am imagining a mod with like the affectation of like Max Headroom.
Yeah, just like
because he has fucked up his brain with modifications way too much that it's like, and he's glitching all the time. It'd be hilarious.
Oh, so it would be the plot of what is that? Fern Gully with the bat.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I totally forgot about that. I deleted that memory.
You're welcome.
There we go. That movie rocks. though. I played that movie in the bar not too long ago. Actually, we put
I have a coworker who makes me play the song. Is it Tim Curry?
The one where he shows up. Yeah.
He was like, that was a formative sexual awakening in me.
Oh yeah, Hex, whatever his name is.
Tim Curry, sexual awakening.
They're like, if they wanted us to think, they were like, if they wanted
toxic
us
love.
to think pollution was
toxic love.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
They were like, if they wanted us to think pollution was bad, why'd they make us want to fuck the cloud?
Literally. These questions need answers.
I just want to put my dick in that cloud. Like that's all I want to do. Like, right.
I'm going to shut up Brian Foster. People below 30 are going, Snow?
Oh,
yeah, sorry.
That's true. Yeah. Ask your grandparents about Fern Gully,
y'all.
Like
grandma, she knows
your grandma
all
about Fern Gully. She'll tell you all about it for sure. That was when they would hand draw the cartoons back in my day.
If you notice, I haven't said shit because I'm like 100 years old, and I'm like, what the fuck is a Fern Gully?
You were
getting fix this. Also, shout out to Quest for Camelot. Thank you.
There we go. Absolutely. Fennec's sidekick should be Max Rebo. Motherfucker.
That'd be so funny.
Oh yeah.
That'd be so funny.
I'm here for it. It's kind of like
I want Book of Max Rebo.
Book of Rebo.
Can we please greenlight that show, Book of Rebo?
And that,
Max Rebo's, he's kind of like a Paul Schaefer. He's got, like you turn over to him and he's got some like quippy jokes.
He has all the stories.
Or he can do you want to know
Max Rebo flashbacks would be insane.
You could do like Max Rebo, but like him and Fingering Dan, or is Fingering Dan? Is that like
Fingering Dan?
Fingering Dan, but like Fingering Dan could be like getting him. It'd be like Rounders, where it's just like he's just like getting him into trouble like all the time, and he's got like, oh man, we went to a gig, but fucking Fingering Dan's fucking like he's going after like the bar owner's wife or something like that or whatever it is. We got to get the fuck out of town.
Max Weinberg was Conan's band leader, and he was like the drummer for like Bruce Springsteen and shit. Yeah, just Max Rebo just like telling stories.
Yes.
Like,
behind the music, Max Rebo.
Oh my god!
I like the chat that says voiced by Tom Waits.
Oh yes. I love that. Absolutely. The Din. Shout out to David Ho over here. We got Din showed loyalty to Boba last episode by declining payment. Hot take: Din gets into peril next episode, and Boba rescues him to reciprocate his loyalty. Interesting. I think that Dave, I think that is too good of an idea.
That's what I'm saying, because like that actually would make sense, because like we had Din show up and just totally take over the show. The way to show that Boba's still the guy would be for Boba to somehow rescue Din.
So we still have this. We have this whole fracas in the Halo like sphere or whatever the fuck it is that we were in that world that we were at in the beginning of the episode, right? And he gets backed into a corner, and he's like, and he thinks that he's bested. He thinks that he's beat, and then Boba steps in, saves his ass. It's like yes, but I thought like you could use some more work or something like that. And then he takes him back to Tatooine.
Yeah,
he's like, do you need a new ship? I'll drop you off over it. And then that's how you institute it a little bit more into the story itself.
The problem with that is that us as an audience knows there's no freaking way they're killing Din ever, because they know that Mandalorian is the show.
True.
And so we as an audience wouldn't be scared for him.
Well, no, but I mean, doesn't that happen like every time that he fights anybody though? Honestly.
No, but if I see Mando like in a sticky situation, I know he's getting out of it.
Oh, sure. But
until we get to like way later episodes of Mandalorian.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I feel like you need that little bit of like, maybe they're done with Mandalorian.
Plot armor.
Yeah.
Right. Boba literally has
Beskar plot armor.
Plot armor. But I feel like Boba has the opposite, where it's like, yeah, like if they were like,
hey, listen, we killed you once. We could do it again.
Towards the end of the show, if they're like, he's gonna die, I'd be like, maybe he will.
I'll put you right back in that Sarlacc.
That's what I think. That's what I think. I think that he's gonna kick it. You know.
Interesting. Oh my God, here we go. Max Rebo as voiced by Jeff Goldblum.
Jizz finds a way.
It really does.
It's a pass for me, but Jizz really, literally does find a way. Yes.
Oh, I'm keeping that one of my. Jizz finds a way. All right, like again, like just the prospect of the isolated audio tracks alone, like for some of these streams, has been amazing, and I'm very, very excited, and I'm glad that we have that. No, but yeah, I think that. I mean, I don't know. I think that it'll be. We'll probably see what happens with the shirt, with the sweater, with the armor I think in the premiere of season 3, and then I think I think we're just gonna have like another kind of like a team building episode. I need some more Rancor scenes. I'm sorry, I need some more fucking Rancor.
More
scenes.
machete.
More machete. The Rancor.
Yes, and more machete. Again, like that's the other thing that we've talked about, like kind of the lack of literal permanence within the story. Like characters come in for one scene and then they fucking leave, and I never see them again. You know what I mean? Like we I don't know. It just definitely definitely. I don't know. That's definitely something that I think like that the show could definitely use a little bit more of. And I don't know if we have it, but now it's like, do we have enough time? You know, et cetera, so forth, and all that stuff. So I don't know. A lot of different things coming in.
2 episodes.
2 more episodes. 2 more episodes, and they got to do a lot. You know what I mean? So. Goldblum Rebo. I always asked if it was pronounced Rebo or Rebu. I answer the same every time. How dare you speak to me? Yeah. I love that. That's a good old fucking callback. Love it. So any other tell me the odds things? Any other speculation or anything like that? What do you guys think? Or are we all good? No? All set?
I'm good.
Yeah,
I
think we're all great. I think
we got another super chat.
Oh, we do. We got another.
Right under the wire.
Right under the fucking wire over there. Thanks. How you doing, buddy? The armor mentioned the Mythosaur would reunite Mandalore. The Mythosaur symbol has traditionally been Jango and Boba's emblem.
When did that happen?
That was very, very like it was when they were kind of doing that kind of big like kind of lore dump, and it was right before they talked about. I think right before we went to like the purge of Mandalore kind of like flashback type of thing. And she did talk about that. So I think that Boba's going to be writing a Rancor. I do think at some point Din Djarin in the within the story of the Mandalorian, I think at some point
she
is going
literally
to write
says that there is a
mythosaur.
prophecy, but that it is literally Legends, which Star Wars Legends is the. I don't know why my camera's doing this. Hello, please pay attention to me.
Get over there.
Okay.
Don't worry. Oh.
Star Wars Legends is like
it.
literally the code word for not canon. So the armorer literally says, yes, it is Legends, which means not canon.
Right, or which
But,
like
so was in the holiday special, Boba rode a mythosaur, yeah?
Yeah.
Or am I making that up?
Yeah.
Didn't he say when he was meeting the Rancor, he's like, I rode a bigger creature than this or something?
Yes.
I swear in
he did.
the Book of Boba, he made it explicit that he had definitely ridden a mythosaur at some point.
Okay, hold on. We got John Mercano's coming in. Says that it's not a mythosaur.
Oh, it's not a mythosaur.
Ichthyodon in the holiday special. Cool.
Maybe. I mean, like, you know what?
Okay. All I care about is that the holiday special is canon so that Itchy and Lumpy exist.
right.
All I care about.
That's all we care about. Shout out to Adrian Flip. How's my favorite Nerf herders doing? We're doing okay, Mr. Flop. Good to see you over there. Appreciate you, sir. Again, a couple people coming into the wire. I'm loving it. Now the and a lot of people were talking about like the armor. People had some funny things. Like, I mean, I guess it's kind of spoilers for Clone Wars. Like, maybe we should. We're gonna come back to gonna come back. We're gonna come back to Clone Wars. I just don't think that we're gonna be able to cover it the same way. So maybe I'll just leave that one over there. But I think overall, I think a fantastic episode that maybe just unfortunately highlights a couple of the shortcomings of what I think to be a perfectly fine show. Honestly, like I'm not even that mad at it. Like, you know, like you can, and I don't think that like I'm not out there being like this fucking show fucking sucks. Like I'm not angry at the show at all. Like I think that it could do some things a little bit better. I do think it could do some things a little bit better, and I don't think that means that like, and that doesn't mean that like I hate it. You know what I mean? As soon as you say, as we found out on this channel multiple times, if you have even a semblance of a critique of anything, it means that you hate it and you want it to die and you want it.
Why do you hate Star Wars, Sean?
Why do you hate Star Wars, Sean? Yeah, absolutely, 100%. So, like, what the fuck, dude? Like, no, but yeah, I think overall, definitely like a shot in the arm. But it just, I hope that they can take this like the Avatar 1 episodes in Legend of Korra, you hope that they can kind of take this tempo and this kind of shot of energy and they can finish strong, which is what I'm hoping for. And what I think is, and what I think that will happen. I mean, we are getting a big throwdown, knockdown, drag out fight with Boba riding a Rancor. That's happening. Like that is going to fucking happen. Like there's no other thing that's going like
Rancor confirmed.
You know what I mean? Like, and so I think that. So I think it's going to end strong. I just, you know, I think it's just like us kind of having, you know, I don't know if you like something, you're going to want it to be, you want it to be like, do things like a little bit better and stuff. And I think that that's something that definitely how I feel about this show, but I'm still having a great time. We hope that you guys are having a great time over there in the fucking chat and everything. Again, the chat's been absolutely lit. Thank you so much to everybody who's hit us up with the super chats and got in.
Does anyone want to fight me real fast?
Anyone want to get in while I do the read? Like roll in there, roll in here for sure. But we just want to say we appreciate y'all for hanging out with us and everything on Boba Brunch Breakdown. Maddie Kay, Ray, tell everybody where they can find you and which like how to, on your mentions, on your Twitters, on your bots, and like all that stuff. What do you got?
You can find me at Maddie Kay Plays on Twitter, at Maddie Kay Ultra on Instagram, and at Hillbilly Eilish on Twitch, where I stream. Sometimes. There you go.
And it's a lot of fun to watch you stream. I've stopped by a couple of those ones. They're a great time. So just keep it over here. We will be back next week with another edition of the Boba Brunch Breakdown, of the Brunch of Boba Fett, which I kind of rolls off the tongue a little bit more, and I kind of wish that I would have. We should have, maybe that would have been it, but it's okay. We're doing the Brunch of Boba Fett over here. You know what? You got to leave the dance with who you came with. You know what I mean? So we're gonna stick with it. So but we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Shout out. Oh, thank you so much, man. No, dude, we love you having here everything all the way from over across the pond. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Mandy.
Everybody to Marcus Sankt, everybody that threw in for the super chats, and everybody that I'm forgetting: Jazz, Jacob, Marcus, Dinah, Lafrenic, Jacob again. You guys are fucking awesome. You guys are the best of the best. We appreciate you guys. And David Ho. How can I forget David Ho? David, you guys are the real ones. We appreciate you guys for the super chats. Meet us back here this time next week to talk about the penultimate episode 6. I think it's going to be an interesting one. We had a lot of different speculation. It could really go so many ways. Like we could literally, it could literally be like very Din Djarin like heavy, or literally not be in it at all. Like, I mean, like so there's a bunch of different things. I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens. So we appreciate y'all very much for stopping by. Take it easy, y'all, and we'll see you next week. Bye.